We're going in dry. Is that what you said?
Oh my God. Raw dog.
Live.
Jeez, dude, that hurts. That chafes.
Ow. This thumbnail is courtesy of Bulls Trek. I'm going to call him Bulls Trek. I totally stole this from his video because it's great. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Doctor Who Go Flux Yourself review.
Go Flux.
What the flux? Flux off. Whatever you want to say. Reflux.
Where's the flux? How about that for this week? And where's Claire? And where's One Arm? And where's
the story? But you know what did come back? Preachy Doctor. Preachy Doctor came back. Thank God, because I wanted to just make sure that I, didn't want to get my hopes up too much for the future as much as I would love to. I'm not going to waste my time on something when I just know that the power of the BBC is too strong for even RTD. Whether Bad Wolf has complete creative control or not, they still have to abide by certain rules to be distributed on the BBC. And I think it's not even a rule thing. I just think they are of like mind. They are of like mind. The BBC, Hollywood, HBO Max, whoever distributes it in Australia, they all believe the same thing. History now has to be looked at a certain way, which is not positively ever. Not saying it's always been positive, because it hasn't. But there was a few times in this episode where they just wanted to remind us that it's still Dr. Karen. It's still the first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, who runs like a duck. As welcome from Heel versus Babyface. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Well, I took time from Doctor Who. I took time for my Eternals review to review Doctor Who. So, if my wife wasn't coming home tonight, I'd be contemplating drinking again for the first time in decades.
Yeah, we'll have to
straight to the drugs. I don't know.
Is there a meeting in my area? I gotta go. I gotta go.
Where I'm going. That's not. I know it's not funny. It's supposed to be funny, but there is meetings in my area that I will be looking up very soon. And what this season shows is Chris Chibnall was capable of writing. I'm not going to say good. No, it's not good, folks. It was so bad the last 2 years that you're getting competent and you think it's good, but it's not. But he was enough. He was a writer enough to write some Doctor Who that wasn't filled with preachy BS that could be somewhat entertaining. I love the Sontarans. Okay. Admittedly, I fucking love them. They're hilarious. I've loved the modern versions of them, and I hate to see them in the first female Doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who, because she ruins every scene. Like, everything people are enjoying about this is not the Doctor, and that's a bit of a problem when your show's called Doctor Who, and that's supposed to be your main character, and she's supposed to have gravitas and supposed to be like a god walking among us, and she just looks like your basic SJW Karen,
mentally ill Twitter person.
Yeah, basically. Yes. Oh, so where do we start? As what did you?
I know. I don't think I enjoyed this as much as you did, because I was bored, like massively bored for the vast majority of this episode. And the parts that I liked, because there were parts that I liked, and the parts that I liked were the villains, not the Sontarans necessarily. These skeletal type of, because they just come across as malevolent, and the actual actors playing them, they're chewing the scenery a little bit, which I like. They're not flat, and it just felt like something was happening when they were there. And this whole Crimean War thing with the Doctor, to me, was just snooze, because you could play it out in your head oh, look, there's the commander. He's white. He's from the 18th century, 19th century. So they're just going to make him look like an evil buffoon. They make him look like an evil buffoon. Typical of Doctor Who. For no reason, she starts dragging around Mary Seacole. And at one point, she even says to Mary, she says, "Hey, I'm really sorry, but you're going to have a lot of people to nurse when you get back. Hey, come with me." And then just drags her away immediately on an adventure. So I'm like, all right, so those soldiers are just going to die because you've taken away the nurse. You've just taken away the medical attention that they would have got. Okay. Oh, wow. And then she says, "Hey, stay here overnight and just record everything that they do while the soldiers die." Is that okay? Thanks, Doctor.
Well, she's the sociopathic doctor. If you want to give her a personality, this is the sociopathic doctor who doesn't realize it, written by sociopathic writers who don't realize it. That's part of the mentally ill Twitter mafia and what's going on in entertainment right now. So yeah, it's the kind of people who write Twix commercials where a witch kills a little boy. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's inconsistent messaging, and there's a big one. And when we'll get to it, there's just the doctor is such a and the doctor's been a hypocrite in the past. I understand that. That's part of the flaw. But no, this was a flaw in the writing. It wasn't a flaw in the doctor's character. All right. Because the doctor has no character.
Normally, when the doctor's got a flaw, it's pointed out to them.
Yes. Immediately by a companion, usually.
Yeah. It's pointed out to them, and the doctor is either shouts back or accepts that they've failed in some regard.
Laura, remember when she was pointing out the doctor's fallibility every 2 seconds?
Every 2 seconds, yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you just be the Dr. Clara?
So this will be very brief. The good. The good was, I agree, Azure, Swarm, and I think the Passenger. I thought they were decent. I have a feeling that Atropos, I think I'm getting that right, on the planet Time, I think that might be an alternate Gallifrey, or the next Gallifrey in an alternate dimension, or it could be Omega, or it could be the Master again, or it could be fucking nothing. I don't know. And Mrs. Seacole's one line where they were talking to Dan and she was just going along, she goes, I don't understand any of this. I actually chuckled.
I did chuckle at that line.
Well delivered. And the Sontarans, I don't know why they changed them to their classic look. It probably has something to do with the Flux, and they're probably going to explain some of that, which could be interesting.
Crossing dimensions, maybe.
Yeah, they're rewriting time, and it must be across dimensions. This is a great opportunity to undo the timeless children. But unfortunately, this will be used to double down on the timeless children. This is something, I'm not the only one who said this, by the way. It's just something I've guessed. And I've just, because that's what happens all the time. We expect there to be a flip and they end up double down. Like, people actually thought the Rise of Skywalker was retconning the Last Jedi. No, it absolutely doubled down on all of the bad things from it, including what they did to Luke. So that's what's going on here. Unfortunately, Yaz is given more lines, and people, I'm thinking it's good. She's there.
The problem with Yaz and Discount Killmonger, they are a charisma vacuum, the pair of them.
Yes.
And so you got these two people together who are both a charisma vacuum. Oh, by the way, did you notice that this week Yaz is a police officer again?
Yeah, I did notice that.
Last week she said she'd left the police. This week she introduces herself as a member of the constabulary. So make up your mind up, Yaz. And there was a line that I thought Mary Seacole, I thought her performance was fine. I thought she was actually okay in this episode, because she's kind of getting dragged around. I had no problem with her at all. I thought the commander was pretty good as well. I thought he was. But the line that got me is when they said, doctors are male, they're not female. And then the doctor went, it's kind of fluid.
And
I just wanted to vomit.
I threw something.
Did you?
I did.
What did you throw?
I threw my pad of paper, which knocked down some hot toys in the back, and it started a little chain reaction. That's why I had to, or a little late. I had to pause and put it back up because I'm anal retentive.
I had to pick my toys back up.
Dude, yesterday this whole section right here fell down.
It's all right. It's coming down soon anyway. It's coming down soon anyway.
It is, but it just went. I was looking at it and it just went. I went fuck. But I digress. Yeah.
Can we just say something really cool for a second?
Sure.
I've seen Gary's new house, and it's awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
It's absolutely awesome. I'm so happy for him.
Thanks, man. It's a life's dream come true, and this was all from stuff before YouTube. So because I had a long life of careers and stuff prior to YouTube, and this is from buying a little dot of a house in San Francisco and able to turn that little postage stamp. My house was small; it was 1,100 square feet. That's what my family lived in for 18 years, an apartment basically, and now we got a proper house. So
beautiful,
American dream, man.
Yeah, I'm so happy, so chuffed,
and the UK dream too. You guys have been great, actually. In a lot of cases, you've been better than us this year. And listen, I want to upfront. This might go a little long, so I'm sorry, but I love your country. First time I visited, I felt like I was home. I had a smile on my face the whole fucking 2 weeks, and you just could not rip it off. I was walking around London, going around the country, going to Stonehenge, going up north on the bus. Most of the time, I was by myself because my wife was teaching a class in London, and loved every fucking second of it. I didn't want to sleep because I felt like I was missing something. Came back the next year and did it again. I love it. I used to have the BBC running all the time in my house 10 years ago through some little site that I found that would play it. I would listen to BBC One radio all the fucking time. Yeah. I love everything about the country. I love the BBC, and I hate to see what's fucking happened to it. It's
you and me both, dude. It was a national institution. A national institution, and it's just a piece of fucking far leftist shit. And it's tragic.
Fucking
absolutely tragic. But
most polite country I've ever been to. You guys are really,
really.
God, yes. The tube system in London is fucking awesome. It was easy to understand. It was color coded to avoid confusion, so us simple Americans can figure it out completely. I've figured it out, and it was it's tiny compared to our stuff, and it's just clean, and everybody gives you space, and people go, "Excuse me, pardon me." Americans don't. They'll jerk off in front of you in the train and stuff. It's a proper country, and I love it. And then hey, I'm adopted, so my last name is Beekler, but my real last name I was born with is Knight, and I've only recently learned in the last 5 years. Like I've got a long.
Your first name was actually Michael.
It was no, David. David Knight was my.
Oh, that's kind of like a mixture of David Hasselhoff and Michael Knight, though.
Yes.
Boom. You get one name from each.
Yeah. So I'm going through that little history, and it's fun. That's why I felt like I was at home. I know, but this shit bothers me. It bothers me because I always thought British TV was better than American TV for the longest time. I mean, a lot of the stuff we borrowed from you, making shorter seasons, making things, like one story running through one entire season. This is shit you guys did years ago that we have only recently adopted. And it's a better way of telling a story, and I think it's superior than cinema. I think the arc over 6 episodes, 10 episodes is superior to cinema. You can grow with your characters. That's why the binge model is stupid. Weekly TV is great because you can grow with your character and have enough time to get to know your character and like your character. And I think people finally realized that when they had access to your TV, because it was kind of hard to find outside of PBS, but then Netflix started offering your guys' television shows, and like people were fucking loving them here. I mean, just fell in love with them. And then, And then you decided to, instead of letting the inclusivity and diversity happen naturally, which was happening years ago in your country. It's not anything you needed to press the gas pedal on. It was doing just fine. We were introducing gay characters back in well before 2005 in your country, and it was just a thing. And all of a sudden, the Great Reset started happening before the Great Reset, and that it started happening in pop culture and entertainment because it gets society prepped. It's a way of getting society prepped. Unfortunately, people were not calling it out 5 or 6, 7 years ago, or not enough. There were people, but not enough. And not enough were believing it. And I was one of them. I was one of those people going, nah. I mean, I saw it there, but I didn't think it would get this bad until about 3 years ago. And then I saw this shit happening. And Doctor Who is the franchise that has been destroyed. And it's the worst case. It's the absolute worst case. And it continues to this very day. They have learned fucking nothing. Nothing. This episode, all they have learned is, we'll just give them some bad guys and that should appease them, because they refuse. And maybe this is some of that British pride. I don't know. They refuse to admit that they fucking failed, that they're wrong. We were right. We, the fandom, were right. Like, hey, don't do this. We love your show. We want to continue watching your fucking show. But if you continue to call us is phobes, or tell us you don't need us, and remove a basic factor of this show that's been there for decades, masculinity, we'll stop watching. And people have. And once people break a habit, it's very, very hard, if not impossible, to get them to pick it back up.
Oh, yeah. Look how easy it was for us who collected comics for so long.
Yep. Not
to buy new comics. Got really easy, real quick. It's like most addictions. Most addictions physically only take like a couple of weeks to break. It's the mental addiction, which is the hard one to break.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that can stay with you a long time. Like with cigarettes, for instance, the nicotine addiction, that's gone in 2 weeks. But the hand to mouth, that's the addiction which stays, because it's almost become a routine. So it's quite interesting that once you start, or stop in this case, watching a show, it can get really easy not to turn it back on again. And then if that is multiplied by a factor of X because of the audience, suddenly you find yourself with the ratings that Doctor Who has nowadays, comparative to what it used to get. But I think the biggest admission of failure is the fact that they've passed over creative control to Bad Wolf Studios. I think that in itself is the biggest admission that there needs to be a change. Now, whether or not they do have to abide by the mandate of the BBC, I don't know. I don't know if that is actually the case. So it will be interesting to see how Russell T. Davis's Doctor, A, who it is, and B, how it returns.
Russell T. Davies has earned the benefit of the doubt. I'll say that. And that's the only reason, and it's very small, but I have a sneaking suspicion that he's lockstep with the BBC. He loves the BBC, and he's one of the reasons I think he's coming back is to save it and save it from themselves. Now, that could be giving us what we want, which has always been, by the way, despite the accusations from a couple of people. I don't want overly cultish, liberal, progressive politics in any show, but I don't want the other side either. I just want this show.
I just want entertainment.
Just want entertainment. That's all. And this and again, political allegory or even just moral allegory isn't politics. Nobody's pro genocide. Nobody's pro racism. Blah blah blah. Okay, so stop with your. For one, that's not even a fucking argument. And they haven't been able to come up with an argument. And it's also not sexist to believe that you want one singular character to remain male.
No.
And you gave it a shot. You gave it your good shot. You had your chance. You gave it your shot, and you failed. You failed. The ratings from last week prove it. And it's the lowest. I had a little trouble going back, so I can't say it's the lowest in the history of the show. But it's
the lowest in New Who.
It's the lowest
For
in
sure.
New Who, and it's quite possibly the lowest in the history of the show. I wasn't able to pick, the ratings used to be massive. I mean, huge. And of course they've dialed down since the advent of cable, and I understand that. But she hasn't caught on. There's no merch. It's dead here in America. It is dead. 100,000 people in the key demographic watching your show live. I was on Halloween. It's a stupid day to premiere. Nobody's fucking home on Halloween here in America. Like, nobody's home watching TV. So we'll see if there's a bounce there. But by the way,
on the demo.
2 networks. It was on 2 networks. It was on AMC and it was on BBC America, which is just dying here. And it used to be promising, but now it's just Star Trek reruns all day. I think it's been that, and some Doctor Who. It's too bad. But hey, this episode was just typical Chibnall bad basic mystery box. We learned very little. We didn't see a weeping angel.
No, we didn't. We didn't see Claire. We didn't see Denise. Was it?
I think
one-armed lady.
Yeah.
We didn't see her. We very briefly saw Man from Past for about 15 seconds. 20 seconds. Nothing about the Flux. Nothing about the division.
Nope.
It was just about the vast majority was
running
how
around.
are the Sontarans fighting the Crimean War instead of the Russians?
So the Sontarans basically took advantage of the Flux and came in right before the Carvanista, or I forgot if that's the name of their race, or the
breath.
The dog guys got there to make Earth an outpost for a temporal war that they're gonna set up throughout time and space that's somehow falling apart. So I don't know what you'd be conquering if everything is just falling apart. What we did find out is the Atropos are run by the Mari, who control the flow of time. They're Kang, basically. They're fucking Kang. It's the same fucking thing. And if they're not there, then time goes crazy and it starts going nuts.
Well, I think they're like a conduit of time.
They are. And time is evil, according to the little diamond thing that was running around going, repair. And like that, a little moment like that is Doctor Who. It's like, okay. That's not, then it gets ruined by Yaz. Yaz shows up and it's like, oh fuck.
Look, when you are how old? She's 30 years old.
Yep.
She has to write like a child
on her hand.
W W T D D. What would the Doctor do? It's really easy to work out what it meant. You think, why is a 30-year-old woman writing letters on her hand so she can remind herself what would the Doctor do? That's what a kid does.
Most of the time, remember that famous Chibnall interview when he was young? You're right. It's the but that's how they see their audience, dude. Especially, remember thumb sucking.
It's infantilization.
Or Orphan 55. So a lot of it was running around corridors, sneaking around. Dan is sneaking around a Sontaran shipyard with a pan. He actually knocks out a Sontaran, has access to his weapon, and doesn't pick it up. And I know Doctor Who's like teaching you, use your brains and not guns. And for the most part, I love that. But if you're ever conquered and you knock out or vanquish an enemy, pick up his fucking gun, kids.
Oh, what did we see for next week? Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Dan with a big fucking gun in his hand.
Big gun in his hand, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, we're getting to that. So Dan, Yaz, and the Doctor survive the Flux, and they all get transported to 1850, the Crimea War. I'm a dumb American, so I don't know much. I didn't know who was her Mrs. Seek. What was her first name? Mary or something?
Mary Seacole.
Mary Seacole. Okay. Who was
a Jamaican British nurse who opened the great
British
great hotel,
and healed soldiers and did a lot of good. Okay,
regardless of what side they're on.
Good lady.
Yeah, a bit like Florence Nightingale.
Yep.
But she's black and Florence Nightingale's white, so they went with her.
Yep. And they right, exactly. And then they have a British commander.
Because it's the BBC. That's why.
And the Sontarans are there somehow from the Flux, blah blah blah. And the British commander is going to engage them in battle. And in the meantime, Dan and Yaz just disappear because it's very convenient. And they conveniently, a lot of this is so contrived. And I know it contrived in the past, but this is Chris Chibnall contrived. Okay, like just shit happens because it needs to happen at that point in time.
Well, not just that, but look where they both ended up. They both ended up in plot place
to where they can meet in plot place later.
Yeah.
Insinuating that there's a guiding hand over everything, and we're supposed to think it's probably King. Yes. Which I can almost do my Eternals review right now. Do you mind if I mix in a couple of clips?
No, go do it. Just do it.
Gemma Chan made it through an entire film without changing her facial expression. That is another Marvel first, I would have to say. Even Brie Larson tried to make a facial expression. Yes, she smirked, but we couldn't even get it's. I know Gemma Chan doesn't have plastic surgery. She's naturally beautiful, like beautiful.
She's an ex-Doctor Who. Aluminum.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Waters and Mars. Maya.
But yeah, she acted like she did have plastic surgery and couldn't move her face. Okay, and I will have to remember that one. I'm about halfway through, and I don't want to finish, but I will. Yaz is boring. So Yaz goes to the Atropos planet of time, and so does Count Killmonger.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, isn't this what the tunnel was for?
Yeah,
in 1820. So it's actually now on Earth, and
she runs into that historical figure who I don't remember, who was digging the tunnels, and she runs into him briefly, and they exchange the years, and then he just walks off, and we never see him again.
Yeah.
Which was odd, but I suppose we'll understand that. And listen, this is all going to get wrapped up in the last 5 minutes of the last episode in the most contrived way. Period. That's all they're going to do. They're going to set a bunch of shit up, and then there'll be like some exposition voiceover at the end that will explain everything, kind of like they rewrote the whole show with the Timeless Children. It'll be done the same fucking way. It's Matt. Mystery Box is designed to make you feel like something has happened, and then when the end comes, just see Lost, see Castle Rock, see Westworld, see all the shit that Jar Jar Abrams has ever fucking touched. At the end, you're like, I feel like I watched something good, but wow, I can't remember any of it because none of it had any meaning, any impact, and it's the same thing here. So we get to the commander. The commander wants to. Dan takes off. He's in modern day Liverpool. He magically runs into his parents, and then he goes to the Sontaran shipyards, and we'll get to that in a second. But the commander for the British Army in 1850 in the Crimea, is it Crimea War or Crimean conflict? Was supposed to take on the Prussians or Russians or whatever, and Sontarans. It's Sontarans instead. Doctor says, don't get in the battle. And he's like, don't talk to me, woman. Woman. Get this doctress out of here. I am here for king and country or queen and country. And so he goes ahead and gets everybody slaughtered. Everybody dies. Doctor says, I tried to warn you. When he comes back, somehow he survives. He comes back humbled. And he asks for help, and the doctor just is, I guess, for the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, who has told Graham to basically fuck off when he talked about his cancer, said, I'm socially awkward. basically treats the guy like shit, and then she points out what they're going to do, and magically she figures it out. So the Sontarans, when they go to fight, apparently they don't leave anybody behind in the shipyards, and they have to basically feed every 27 hours or something like that. She uses the allegory of getting petrol, and then she has to correct it to horses because it's 1850. And she basically takes that all away, and it's all magically done. It's going to force a retreat, blah, blah, blah. And that happens. And then the commander somehow, between the time he got knocked out and walked back, or I don't know how they did this in passage of time, planted explosives all around the Sontaran ships while they were sleeping, or I don't know when he did it, but
well, it was when the doctor and him and Mary and the soldiers were
so they brought everybody to parlay.
Yeah, they and the doctor didn't see any of the big kegs of gunpowder.
Yeah,
that they brought with them.
But I thought that was kind of cool. That was like, I liked it. Of course, the doctor fucking chewed him out. So the doctor got the Sontarans to retreat, and then the commander blew him up. And in doctor fashion, she said, oh, they were retreating. Okay, that part's fine. And then she goes, with men like you, I don't know why I bother with humanity. And the doctor has said stuff like this before, but context matters. This is Jodie Whittaker's doctor, and there was a very heavy emphasis on men.
And the point was, this wasn't like Tennant's Doctor Who when he regenerated, when he got them to retreat, and then Torchwood destroyed the ship, and then that's how he brought down. There's like, doesn't she look tired?
Yep.
It wasn't like that because they truly were retreating, but the Sontaran commander clearly said, "We'll be back. We'll be back."
Yeah, we're just.
So this was simply a retreat, so they could repair the sabotage ships, and then they would regroup and then go on another temporal offensive. So what the guy did was, involved the loss of life. The doctor's killed. The doctor has killed. The doctor has pointed his companions to kill before. So I don't think what the guy did was necessarily wrong.
This is a clone army that's bred to kill. They said they were going to come back. As I did laugh a couple of times in this episode. Both times when the doctor tried to get tough and say, this planet is protected. And you just, when the Sontaran laughs, I was laughing along with him. I was like, are you going to duck run at us?
You're a Karen dressed in a pride flag.
Yeah.
You're about as intimidating as a poke in the eye.
Yep. It just doesn't work.
No.
It still doesn't work. It's not going to work. Nobody's going to watch these episodes in the future. They're going to be the least watched Doctor Who of all time. Everybody's going to want to forget them. And this is what happens when you go too woke. When you go too woke, you can't go back because you're not just redoing a creative decision. You're redoing, say it with me, an ideological decision. Oh, boy. So, and she chews the commander out for getting this is for my men, and she's all, it's all your decision, and it was, and is this for your guilt? Is this for your guilt? Maybe so. Maybe so. Is he supposed to understand in 1850 with some little SJW? I tell you what, SJW runs around in, I don't know, current year Afghanistan. What would happen? We discussed this.
I don't want to get your channel demonetized. Don't want to get this demonetized. But yeah, if she had that sort of attitude in current day Afghanistan, I think the audience could easily work out what would happen to somebody like Dr. Karen.
Yeah, you want to tell a good story, go after stuff that's happening now. Hollywood used to do that. Hollywood and entertainment used to go after dictatorships, crimes against humanity that were happening today in art, and they stopped. There's slavery everywhere in this world right now. Right now.
Angelina Jolie, she didn't chew out, but she expressed dissatisfaction with Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and Qatar for banning the Eternals because of the same-sex relationship. And she didn't say a thing about China.
Not a word about China, where it is banned for precisely the same.
Not a word about China at all.
I heard I've heard the excuse that, well, Disney has to do business in those countries. Oh, yeah. I understand that. That's why we point out the hypocrisy.
Yes.
The hypocrisy. They're out there standing on their soapbox going, no more white comfort.
And it's not that they do business in the countries. It's that doing business in those countries is profitable.
Oh, you know who else does business in that country?
They do business with China. They do business with Saudi Arabia. They do business with Qatar. They do business with Kuwait. But that's not as profitable as China by any stretch of the imagination.
China does business with the BBC with Doctor Who, although it is not known what episodes they actually get to see. I'm working on finding that out. I'm sure it's very easy because, believe it or not, even though we are not available in the country of China, we are seen there. We are seen there. I've gotten a Christmas present from somebody in China who watches this channel in China, which was awesome. And American teaching English. And I'm available out there. And if we can find out, my guess is the first female doctor by Jodie Whittaker isn't played there, like, at all.
Do you know who should go to Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Kuwait? Mr. We're literally saving lives.
Oh, yes. Well, you would be if you were actually shown there, but you're not. You're not. And by the way, the company you work for still does business there, by the way. And, there's and we shouldn't. I don't think we should ever. I think it's horrible, but just here to point out the hypocrisy. That's all. But we're the bad guys. And, that commander was the bad guy. And the other dumb white guy is Dan, the companion. He is thrown through a sewage tube. He walks around with a walk. He calls temporal tempora. So he's kind of the lovable dumbass.
Well, he's not a character, and B, they're really taking the piss out of Liverpudlians. They're essentially saying Liverpudlians are a bunch of thickos.
Yep.
Thick, stupid part of the country. And his character is comical. It's not. He doesn't feel like a human being. He feels like a parody of a human being.
Yeah, it's just like here in the States where they make fun of the poor in the South. In countries like Alabama, the white poor, the people who live in trailer parks, which is a perfectly fine way to live, by the way. And the people who live who don't have the income that the elite in Hollywood or your average Californian has. By the way, there's lots of trailer parks in California too, tons of them, all over the place in the middle of the desert. Craziest things you've ever seen. But they love to make fun of that. That's the last thing you can make fun of. And yeah, that was pretty evident with the mom and the dad.
Like when they said, how did you work out knocking a Sontaran at the back of the head, knocked them out? And they said, oh, so from Birkenhead. I know this area of the country very well because this is where my grandparents used to live. And they shrug it off as, oh, he was from Birkenhead. Oh, that explains everything.
Which is supposed to mean,
well,
context.
The whole area, Birkenhead, Rock Ferry, Bootle, all that kind of area is thought of as scallywag country.
Okay.
Salt
of the earth.
No.
Thickos
of the earth. They think they look down on them. They look down at that.
Okay. Well, yeah.
That part of the country as sub.
Salt of the earth is here sometimes it's sarcastic. It's they're salt of the earth. Kind of like basically how LA and New York see the rest of our country. They call it
like the lowest of the classes. Yeah, someone's to put low. Yeah, it's like the lowest of the classes.
Dumb Christian,
dumb working class,
dumb working
thieves, unemployed, deadbeats.
Yeah,
that's how they view them all.
Mm-hmm.
Toxdeath, that that whole sort of. I've been like I said, my grandparents used to live very nearby, so when we went to visit them, we would go to all these places like Boostle and Birkenhead and Rock Ferry and stuff like that. And yes, it's rough areas. It is rough areas, but these are poverty areas. There's not a lot of money. It used to be a roaring trade in Liverpool, what with the docks and everything, and all that's kind of a thing of the past now. So yeah, what used to be a very profitable part, thriving part of the country, no longer.
That's too bad.
But it's good to see the Londoners looking down on the Northerners again as scum, like they normally do, making them into a joke.
And Dan dumps his way into a Sontaran ship, and Dogman saves him at the end. Remember when in my video, I said, that mystery box is basically they set up random events with random characters to make random things happen to create false tension, and then it's solved with a Deus Ex Machina at the end. And Dogman just shows up, finds them, shows up, kills the Sontarans, is able to throw them through the poop tube. Basically, they get away, and then the Dogman just takes his ship, he commandeers the Sontaran ship and rams all their ship and kills all the Sontarans. And I'll let you finish this. Doctor shows up after chewing out the commander for destroying all the retreating Sontaran ships. And what does the Doctor do when she sees the Dogman?
Congratulates him
for doing the same fucking thing. So it's just obvious. It's like in the Eternals when Selma Hayek.
Which one of those two should know better?
Right? When Selma Hayek takes time out to tell Richard Madden's Icarus to know your place.
Know your place.
It screeches the story to a halt, and you just go, oh, that's uncomfortable. It's kind of like when you're at a party and there's a couple, there might be some tension, and they actually just fight in front of you. Somebody actually just breaks. Or when you're on a live stream and there's two people who are mad at each other, and one of them just finally goes, shut the fuck up, and it just creates instant tension. You're like, oh shit.
But it's just, what it does. But with Eternals, it's like, I have a question. Why are you chewing out the loyal one?
The one who's backed you the whole time.
Why you?
And I went back and checked, and it wasn't because he was giving up her plan, because that's what I thought it could have been. So the answer is the message.
Yeah, snap him back. Know your role, bitch. In today's progressive Hollywood. I'm glad he fucking killed her.
He snapped. Bitch. Is it 4? Well, I don't know. I'm super straight. Yeah. So, and then they end up at the Atropos planet of it's oh god. It's I can't think of the word now. It's not like a religion, but it is I don't know. They're at a place, and that place holds time at bay, and all the Mori are women, of course. So they are holding time at bay.
No wonder time's fucked.
Yeah. And our couple, which is like the only good thing to watch until we find out who they are. It could a lot of people are saying it's Omega because when they touch you just go to dust. That could be an antimatter effect on our universe.
That was my first guess, Omega.
Yeah. And that could
but now I'm thinking the guy that they brought along could be Omega. The passenger, did they call him?
The passenger. Yes. Yeah. Because he kind of looked like him. He did. He
looked much bigger and beefier, and that was kind of me. That was more sort of the Omega look.
And apparently he's the threat, because they're like, you don't want to piss him off. So I'm sure something from the past is going. So
is this guy Rassilon?
Maybe Rassilon. The last we heard from Rassilon was hellbent when he was banished by
from Gallifrey.
The TV show. Here's on every franchise alive. Just remember this, kids. Even if they keep a loose canon with the books and the comics and do side story, that stuff is canon until they don't need it to be canon. And the only real canon is what you see on a TV show in live action. That's everything else is pretty loosey-goosey, and it can just be rewritten and taken away at any point. So I don't know if Rassilon showed up in Big Finish. I loved Big Finish, but I stopped because they went as woke as the fucking show. I canceled my subscription a long time ago.
What you mean with trans companions?
Oh yeah. Oh dude. And Doctor Who collectibles have just fucking died. The price on them has died. Even the I found a Tom Baker Big Chief, which used to
just found it for 2 minutes, dude.
Yeah. Which used to go for $5 or $6, now going for $2,000. Still a lot, but not $5,000 or $6,000, because people don't give a shit anymore. They just don't give a shit. So, yeah, even if it is something I don't want anything interesting. I don't want the Valiard in this. I don't want fucking Omega or Rassilon in this. I don't. I just flat out don't. I want them to dissolve the division and just undo the Timeless Children. I don't really care how they do it, as long as they undo it, and I can just forget about the first female Doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen's era, completely, like the rest of you, and then maybe move on. But I am fully prepared to just move on. Just fully prepared to do that. Because you can't unsee what they've already done. Even if Disney took the time to make a trilogy to fucking undo the mess that they have made, it really wouldn't bring everybody back. You would satisfy some hardcore fans, but normies would just get confused. You know, the people who came in late, they're not bringing in new audience. You know, these shows always cycle in new audience. They're always losing audience, and it's key. It's paramount to bring in new audience. The problem is David Tennant, Matt Smith, Christopher Eccleston. They're the only ones bringing in new audience right now. And that has dwindled to nothing, because the show is now buried on HBO Max, which is, you know, as far as streaming services go, I think it has some of the best stuff on it. The quality has improved. Dune looked fantastic on it, I will say that, and so did the Suicide Squad. But yeah, you know what? You go to the thumbnail and you don't see David Tennant, you don't see Christopher Eccleston, you don't see Peter Capaldi, you don't see Matt Smith. You see the current Doctor, which is Jodie Whittaker, which doesn't really inspire you to click on the giant rainbow flag. And I would accuse them of big time gay baiting on this one too, with Yaz and the Doctor. They are clearly in love. So the first, I just want to point out that the first female Doctor arrives, but she's still into women. So I guess it's just about fluidity.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Doctor not representing the majority of women on this planet. So you didn't really, I mean, you got a female Doctor, but you basically got a female Doctor who was written like a man. It's boring.
Certainly not written like a woman.
No.
I'd say you kind of got a bit of an asexual Doctor running around right now.
Yep.
They don't really display any characteristics. They don't have any male assertion, and they don't have any femininity. Yeah, so I don't know what they are.
Oh, imagine a Romana show where her character archetype is like Russian spy.
Russian spy.
She uses all of her faculties to go on adventures and have a lot of fun and be feminine, and it'll be fucking awesome. It'd be awesome. And they just can't. That's not anything they can even write now. They can't write it, and it's like it would be immensely popular.
Femininity equals weakness,
according to the powers that be. Yes, exactly.
That's why they just simply turn women into men. They take male characteristics and they implant them into women, and they go, "Hey, look, we've got a strong woman." No, you haven't. You got a man. You got a man that you just put a female form around. That's all you did. You gave them. Don't the fucking matter, does it?
The inspiring toughness of women when they're in a situation where like they're surrounded, they're not as physically strong as men, but they're as tough. I mean, that's fucking awesome. That's inspiring. That's shit. Like that's real. Also, that's gone away. That's just done away with. That is considered weakness too, which is too fucking bad. Because that is, women give birth. I was there. I've seen it. Got to be pretty fucking tough to do that. Go through a cesarean. That's what I got to see. Woo. I digress. Back to Doctor Who. I was not. And then they shoved some purple thing crying in my face like, "This is your son." I'm like, I'm just processing what I saw before. Now you want me to process this?
Someone in the chat said, "As repeating myself for the millionth time." Well, I'll stop repeating myself the day that they stop fucking doing it. How about that? Make a deal with you.
So the show ends on a cliffhanger, basically at the Atropos cathedral, or if I'm missing the word right now, but it was broken.
Sanctum? Was it Sanctum?
Yeah, it was broken, and it's temporal locked to protect them against Azure and Swarm.
Mm-hmm.
Passenger.
Azure and Swarm, yeah.
And now Yaz and Discount Killmonger have replaced them briefly, and Swarm is going to snap his fingers and get time going again, but it's going to be going through Yaz and Discount Killmonger, and their human bodies probably won't be able to take it, but I'm guessing they will, because we got to see both of them in the scenes next week, so I'm guessing they survive. Dan's got a big gun, and we are going to get Weeping Angels next week. My guess is the Weeping Angels are there to save everybody, because the Weeping Angels need time. They need it to feed.
They feed off time. Yes.
And the life you have would have led, but didn't. But they kill in the nicest way possible. They put you back exactly how much time you have. Somehow they know how much time you have to live, and they just put you back that amount of time. That's it. It was preachy. Go on.
I don't think it quite works like that. They can steal a portion of time, because when they did it in Blink, they took that woman and they sent her right back to was it like 1920 or something?
Yeah.
So did she have like another 70 years to live? Because that would have made her like
20. She was pretty young.
Okay, all right. She looked a bit older.
She was like right at her death when they wrote to her. And they could have changed. I don't know what they've done in the books or comics, and I don't care. But I love the Weeping Angels. I love the concept of them. As long as they keep it just don't explain a lot, because then you'll start going, wait a minute. But them as a concept are fun. They're a lot of fun, and I just hate to see them in such shite like this. Such forgettable shite, because you can bring in all the bells and whistles you want. Again, when your main character is the most uninteresting thing, the most annoying thing about your show's not going to succeed. And it's only a testament to the power of this brand that this many people have stuck around, because if this was just a regular show going this bad, it would be gone already. It'd be gone already.
Yeah. I felt if got to be honest, I felt as if this was a different Doctor, this could have been a much better episode. Like if this was a Capaldi episode, it probably could have been much better. If this was a David Tennant episode, this could have been much better. A Tom Baker episode, much better, because a lot of these episodes work off the Doctor being the vehicle to make it work. And that's why so many of Capaldi's like poorly written episodes, he still performs excellently in them. And so you still get a great performance out of Capaldi, and he elevates what isn't necessarily a well-written episode at all. This one here, Jodie she's just so flat as the Doctor. She doesn't project any personality. She doesn't project any, you just have that aura about you of sort of presence. She just has no presence whatsoever. So I feel as if there was a Doctor with a much more commanding presence, this might have been a more interesting episode. But the companion stuff, I mean, the companions are wet fish. Yaz is just annoying, and Dan is a parody of a human being. And there was just no reason for them to even be in the episode. And Discount Killmonger, I have no idea what that guy, he's brought nothing to 2 episodes so far. Nothing at all.
I completely agree with that assessment. As I think there were concepts in this that I liked, and they continued to get ruined every time she showed up. Is there a bias there? Of course, I never said I wasn't, but it's objectively she's not a good Doctor. She hasn't been, and she hasn't improved at all from her first appearance. She has stayed the absolute same. I have never seen, throughout Doctor Who, we've seen all of them. Matt Smith started out pretty good, got much better, even in the episodes that were poorly written towards the end. Capaldi Doctor, it was a bit schizophrenic. But you got used to it. And by the end, he definitely has an arc, and he owns that fucking role. Tennant, all-time classic arc as the Doctor. Eccleston, I still argue it's the best single performance by an actor of the Doctor, period, end of story. And she's just remained the same because he's not.
They had stuff to work with. Eccleston, of course, was the broken Doctor.
Yep.
Matt's David Tennant, again, broken Doctor. Matt Smith a Doctor trying to forgive himself, that led ultimately to redemption. Capaldi, was the Doctor that knew now. He knew that he didn't kill his race, or, he sent them to he didn't kill them. He sent them safe. And so Capaldi could just nothing. Jodie's had nothing at all. And sure, that's partly the response of the responsibility of the writing, because the writing haven't given her anything to go at. But at the same time, I felt that, obviously Eccleston only had the 1 season.
Yep.
But David Tennant, Matt Smith especially, and Capaldi, they all grew as Doctors. Matt Smith came across as the young Doctor to start with, and then developed into a very old Doctor.
Dude,
in a very young body. It was crazy.
Oh, dude.
And it was just this, you could feel the age on Matt Smith's Doctor, and yet the juxtapositioning of his physical form being like 20, 28. It was crazy. He was so good. But Jodie her Doctor hasn't developed at all. It's not like she's gone, right, okay, I started here. Yeah, I was kind of doing a bit of a mishmash of Matt Smith and David Tennant, not really finding my own Doctor. And it's just no, that's just exactly where she's stuck the whole time. It's just been one note across the whole board, and it hasn't developed, and it hasn't changed, and it hasn't matured, and there's nothing about it at all. And that's why whenever, like I said, an episode like this, I was bored, and I was mostly bored, I think, because of the flat performance as a Doctor. Because I think, like I said, Mary Seacole, her performance was fine.
Yep.
And I think the army soldier's performance was fine. So it was like, to me, it's the Doctor that brought that whole story down. And so if you
over time,
and if you had a better Doctor, I absolutely think they could have elevated that material.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine Matt Smith chewing out the soldier?
Uh-huh.
David Tennant, we know he could switch on a dime.
David Tennant. Okay, David Tennant could do his "oh come on" and just be intimidated when the Sontarans talking all that shit. The Doctor, and it just do it visually. And Jodie cannot. You're not going to take somebody with like unlaced boots on and a dopey costume that has not evolved again. You want to talk about not evolving? Her costume hasn't changed in 3 fucking years. Like they always
why change perfection?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, she can't run, and you have to be able to give that off. And it's nature. It's nature, and nature obviously is an unjust system, because that's one of the underlying messages of fucking the Eternals. Sorry to go back to that, but it's on my mind. Nature is an unjust system that needs to be toppled. But yeah. We're gonna go to super chats and donations.
Sure.
We got some, and we'll start with the donation. And I've got my extra ring light out, so that's why I'm gonna be squinting a little bit when I look up on my third screen. Dan Reese for $3.70 on the donation side for circumventing Mama Susan. Thanks for watching this trash fire, guys, so I don't have to. Dan, it's our pleasure. It's our sincere pleasure to save you time.
Wilfred, it's my pleasure.
My plan is to save you guys about 3 hours of your life with however amount you're going to watch this. And as is, was it 10 minutes? No, how long, your Eternals review is like 20 minutes long, right?
23 minutes long.
23 minutes. Yeah. I'm hoping to keep mine to 10, but it'll probably be 20. And I hope to save you a little bit of time and make you smile. Make you smile. That's the whole point, because this is actually, if you think about it, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. And you know what? For the people who are like, why do you care so much? I've said this many, many times before.
I love that question.
Don't even bring that into consideration. Okay, just go away.
Because the moment you don't care, this is what you get.
This is what happens.
This is what you fucking get. The moment you don't care.
This is the result of black pilling.
Why do you care?
Why do you care? And absolutely, you need to find alternatives. We need to support independents and stuff, but it's up to the independents to get their stuff out there and be good and be proper competition. And when it is, I'll be happy to point it out. Raven 3363 for 675. Oh, Gary, I almost forgot. You advised that I go full psycho at my work, yelling, "George!" A motif, I believe you called it. Sadly, I cannot do that as I am an apprentice, so I'll have to wait a few years. Yeah, wait a few years. I definitely wait until you've got some juice. Otherwise, you won't be an apprentice. You'll be unemployed, and that's just always choose, income first. It does matter. Raven 3363 for 3374. I gotta check the date on that. Doctor Who was family time for my family. Don't think we will ever go back after the shit show that is Dr. Karen, and I'll never forgive them for destroying the 60-ish years of lore. Love you guys. You and the rest of the FNT have replaced TV for me. Oh, well, thank you. We appreciate that. I'm sorry. I wish I was here reviewing really good Doctor Who with Az, and just what's gonna happen next week, and that'd be fucking great. That's
this is why I do my Squid Game show on a Thursday now.
Yep. Yeah.
Because I want to talk about something that's great. I want to talk about something that's great, something that's fun, and dissect it with somebody and get into all the ins and outs of why we think it's good and all the little nuances that we see and what we read into it that isn't necessarily there, but what you can read into it because it's so open. This is why we did our Prisoner show. This is why we're doing the Squid Game show. This is why I do the toy show every week. Because I want to do something positive as well as all the other stuff that we talk about. There's a lot of negativity, a lot of terrible TV. You've got to try and balance it. Got to try and balance it by putting some good out there as well. So yeah, to do those streams for me is it's pleasure, absolute pleasure.
Oh, that's a really good point. By the way, and well said. Yes, thank you for putting that out there. I do appreciate it when we enjoy something, we cover it. I like Dune. I like the Suicide Squad. I like the Snyder Cut. These are three things I liked a lot. I'd say my favorite of the three. Ooh, that's tough. Might be the Snyder Cut or Suicide Squad. Is kind of interchangeable with me.
My favorite thing of the year is definitely Squid Game.
It's up there with me. I would say it's up there. Well, I'd say it's equal to Dune with me. It was good.
Dune was amazing. We did get some good. I mean, Snyder Cut I thought was
fun,
fucking great.
I
loved it. Squid Game, superb. Dune to me was a revelation because I don't know the books. I haven't read the books, and the only I'm not professing to be like a Dune fan or Dune lorist or anything like that. All I know about Dune is there was sand and big sandworms, and that's and other than the Cal MacLachlan thing, which I watched decades ago, that was pretty much it. So I really enjoyed Dune. I really enjoyed the lore. I really enjoyed the pace and the development, actual development, unlike the Eternals, which had no pace and no development. So yeah, Dune was a surprise for me, a surprise hit. Because I legit thought I thought to myself, but it's just like
kind of boring. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be like,
the biggest problem was character development for me, but visually, it watching it on IMAX, which you have to do, it makes Eternals look like what it is, a joke. I mean, like
it is a joke. Yeah,
Dune is actual cinema, and I'm not the biggest Denis Villeneuve fan.
Denis Villeneuve,
or Ava DuVernay.
Varnish.
Squid Game had some of the best the best character development of the year, like best characters, best acting, people I bought into by far. But like as far as like fun factor for me, which is just what I'm looking for right now, my escapism, just fucking watching the Snyder Cut.
Oh yeah,
and the Suicide Squad and watching some superheroes kick some ass was fun. Hey, I would love to see like a Witcher, just focus on the Witcher the entire season. That's not going to happen. Cobra Kai, it's law of diminishing returns. It's not going to be as good. Season 1 was fucking a masterpiece. And the rest of the season's been all right. They've been all right. They've been really enjoyable, but nowhere near as good as season 1, which is fine. Stranger Things, couldn't give a fuck. Could not give a fly. It's not till next year. Binge model's stupid. No show should do it.
I dipped out after season 2.
Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, I'll just say.
I hope. I mean, it's so horrible because obviously what they did with Gina Carano was horrific. And then you got to say to yourself, do I watch Book of Boba Fett to report? To give my opinion though, because people are going to want your opinion on Book of Boba Fett. So it's a kind of catch-22 with that one.
Well, I found through my reviews of The Mandalorian, it's which I'm not going to say never. I'll never say never, but I'm leaning towards not, because I don't even want to give it any kind of advertising. Plus, it looks just boring. It just looks boring.
I don't think it's a particularly well put together trailer, and the music obviously didn't marry what was going on by any stretch. But I don't know. It could be good. It's Robert Rodriguez, and
if it's good,
he's you know, he can do some good action. Can Robert Rodriguez?
Yeah, he probably can. It might be serviceable. And that's probably the best you're going to get. Like I said, with them, it'll probably be just a little. It probably won't be as good as The Mandalorian, but better than most Disney Star Wars. And it's a world and concept and intellectual property that means nothing to me.
We need character development is what we need.
Yeah.
And we're not getting. That's one thing these shows are really lacking, because the protagonist is so stoic. We need a character to have an arc. You know?
I think, yeah.
What's the Mandalorian's arc? Take your helmet off?
Yeah. That's why I don't like supporting it for one would just continue Kathleen Kennedy's reign in this shite. You know what I mean? So it would just be, hey, let's keep rewriting the past. People see this as a good thing. No, they're going to continue fucking with the original trilogy with this stuff. Yeah, it's just like, I could care less. It just looks like a sandy, boring fucking world. It looks like what people probably thought Dune was to me now. That's what Star Wars is to me now. Boring. Bleh. Want to bet they also have the Watcher make a reappearance. If you can, I'd recommend the Little Britain Fan Clinic compilation for the stream. I wonder if we could show that without getting clipped. Jester Roanoke, thank you very much. You know what?
BBC really tight with that sort of stuff.
The Mari do look a bit like the Watcher because they're in like white cloth and
yeah.
Be Time Lordish Watcher. Maybe that's what they were looking for, or maybe they were just making you think that, but not really going to go with that. Yeah, I would definitely. It would make sense, especially since I don't think they haven't filmed, as far as I know, a regeneration because they haven't picked a doctor. But Jodie's done. So whatever they do, I mean, they can, with CG, they can fit it in. It's not a big deal. But we'll see. But you know what? The doctor saying it's fluid, I think is a big hint. Big
gender fluid
hint for what's to come. I hope I'm wrong. Digby Strawbridge for 10 British pounds. It's proper money. It's proper. Thank you, Gary Naz, for wading through the deck that my once beloved show has become. Fuck. I was inspired to look at. I have a box of Sontaran figures. I have about 100 of them, so I can make my little
legions of Sontarans.
Legions of Sontarans. I have 100. You can see some of my Dalek right here. I have
your Daleks look great.
I have 100 Cybermen. I have 100.
You did a Christmas decoration picture, and so that really highlighted how cool those Daleks looked.
I fucking love it.
I love
section. I love it. Now it's dead. Dan Reese for $5 Australian. They need to retcon Jodie's doctor out before I watch again. By the way, watch The Prisoner. Wow, what a show!
Oh, dude, The Prisoner is one of the greatest TV shows ever.
Yeah, The Prisoner is all-timer. And him and Robert and Az did some great live streams. They're still all up. Go check them out.
What we did is we watched every episode of The Prisoner, but we put them in our order, how we thought the order of The Prisoner should have been, because there are some episodes which are completely out of order in the original series. So yeah, we watched The Prisoner. We went through every episode individually, Robert, Maya Burnett, and me, and we just put them in the order that we believe they should have gone, and it was a great time. To me, it's one of the greatest TV shows of all time. Incredibly, it's one of the most poignant TV shows of right now, which is crazy.
By the way, The Watcher is from Tom Baker's final episode. And it's
the moment has been prepared for.
Yes. Hang on a second. All right. So the Sontaran general, played by Jonathan Watson, a Scottish comedian who usually does poorly watched soccer comic sketches. Hang on. I got it. That was nice to see. And that's from Brendan Lucas for £5 British.
Proper money.
Proper money. The floating house. Is Chibnall gonna... Okay, I'm going to mess up this name. Lungnaro now. He's already sort of did it with Morbius Doctors. Yes, that's true. Now he's going to adapt the rest of the book. That was the door that was open to him and Piers Wenger to make this change, right? So they could say, nope, there is precedent. There is other doctors. And that's why the double down is coming, folks. So they're not going to undo the Timeless Children. They're going to do this because the Doctor's history is far too white. It's far too white. So they're just going to push doctors in between each doctor. They might come out and say, hey, William Hartnell's the first, but so much for that second doctor and third doctor and fourth doctor. Which is still unacceptable. Like totally, just move forward. Just move forward. You don't even have to refer to it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's all. Just move forward. And, the doctor could be the any kind of male of the species. And it'd be fun. Well, I was under the impression the division was all Time Lords, right?
Yeah.
So is Dogman a Time Lord? Is he another type of agent for the division that isn't a Time Lord? Did they recruit? I mean, I don't know. There is
unless the division recruited Time Lords.
Maybe. I mean, there was a little bit of Time Lord symbolism in his ship. A lot of circly things in his ship. So I'm like, but they're all, we'll see. We'll see. I didn't read or go through the Time Lord Victorious. I would have if I was still a Doctor Who fan, but I didn't want to support their shit, so I didn't get into it. So I don't know if they completely undid the Time War, which would piss me off, or they fixed that, because that would mean there were Time Lords out there. So, who knows? By the way, it's only canon till the show changes it. A long form story format just feels like a lazy crutch for back writers. I think Chibnall's writing everything, so I think it was a very cheap way to just say. And I don't know if other writers are going to come in. I don't know if they did a writer's room or not. And this is, by the way, that was Graffader for 100 rubles, or is it? Or is it? It says P and RUB, so we'll just say Russian pesos. And thank you, Graffader. Long time no see. Nightwish fan 1991 for $20 says the long form story format just feels like lazy crutch for back writers to have one episode set up 4 episodes of nothing and one episode of ending with a preview for the next season. See also Star Trek Discovery. Oh, well done. I'm going to applaud that one. You got it. Alex Kurtzman, disciple of Chris Chibnall, Alex Kurtzman, disciple of Jar Jar Abrams. Chris Chibnall, trying to be Stephen Moffat. Stephen Moffat was Mystery Box. That's pretty much, and he was able to pull it off sometimes because Stephen Moffat is talented.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's lost it, but he's a very talented writer. I think but here's what I think. I think he was writing within constraints, and he is not able to write within constraints. And these are recent, ridiculous constraints that he was not comfortable with.
And a lot of the time he was doing Sherlock Holmes at the same time. So he really was burning the candle at both ends.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Eric K., our wonderful wrench for $5 says the Victorian Cross is made from a cannon in the Crimean War. Interesting.
There's a very limited amount of metal that's used to make Victorian crosses out of. And then when that's gone, it's gone.
Mm-hmm. So okay? That's interesting. Oh, Justin Doyle for £5 British. Hail, gents. Do you think Chibs watched Superman 2 recently? I am getting a Zod vibes from the 3 skeleton-faced baddies. Oh, you're getting Zod.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. The passenger is Non. It's Zod, Ursa, and Non.
Non. That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's fair.
By the way, third-party company out there, please make a proper 1/6 scale Superman 2 General Zod, Ursa, and Non. Make it a 3-pack. Take my money. Let's do this. Okay? Sooner than later.
I still think they're the best thing of the show so far, though. So I'm okay with that.
They are. They clearly are. And once again, I'm rooting for the bad guy.
Yeah, it's weird.
Monkey Man 04.
But it's not weird. It's not weird at all. It's because Jodie doesn't do anything to make herself heroic whatsoever. She just berates people, shouts at people, bosses people, and yeah.
Yep. Ugh. Monkey Man 04 took your advice and watched the Orville. Love it for $2. Excellent. Unfortunately, you got to wait till March. Well, it's a good thing you waited till now because I mean the wait has been too long, Seth. Sorry, Tom Constantino. I love you, man. He's one of the nicest guys, and there are nice people in Hollywood. There are genuine, really nice people who support free speech, free expression, whether they agree with us or not. And Tom Constantino is one of those people. He is a producer on the Orville, and it's just been too long. And I know it's not their fault. And I know they put a ton of money into this season, and it's going to be good. It's going to be really good when you get it in March. Hopefully there are no more delays. Another thing we're looking forward to, Ghostbusters, dude, in like 9 days.
Yeah.
Days? Ghostbusters. Fuck yeah. Can't wait to see that. Were those things supposed to be dogs? I saw an ad and they were ripoff of Wookiees. Yeah, it's supposed to be every human has a dog, a looper, and it's just a way to make Dan look like more of a clown and be the dumb white guy. And that's, I mean, it's deliberate. It's deliberate and obvious. It's done almost every episode in one aspect or another. The absolute worst case was the father who abandoned his blind special needs daughter to see a dead wife in an alternate dimension and then tried to scare her with sound effects. I mean, just the worst fucking piece of shit story. And then it was like an alternate dimension and a fucking frog at the end. And fucking so dumb. That was from season 11, or was it 12? No, it was 11.
It was the one on I didn't watch. That'd be Whitaker's first season.
Whitaker first season, yeah. And Graham and Ryan being gone. It like Yaz and the Doctor alone is. They needed Dan to make them look smart. So this is once again degrading a male character to help uplift female characters that just flat out aren't working. And like they're, we got asked at the meetup. This was one of the things I was asked by 3 or 4 people. It's like, when are they going to I mean, we're years into this. When are they going to realize when they're broke at this point?
Well, look at, I mean, dude. Eccleston and Rose, Doctor and Rose, the chemistry was there immediately between the two actors. They bounce off each other so well. They work so well together. That great conversation they have as they're walking through the estate till he gets to the TARDIS in the first episode of Rose. They just meshed immediately. The same with 10-inch and Rose again, Billy Piper. They just the chemistry was there just straight away. And Matt Smith and obviously David Tennant and Catherine Tate chemistry. It's so important to have the chemistry between companion and doctor. It's the most important relationship of the show. Then Matt Smith takes over, gets together with Amy. Chemistry. Immediately. Instant chemistry. And then Clara comes in, and I think it took a little bit of time to get the chemistry going, but Matt Smith is a great actor, and so is Clara. You know, Clara is she's a really good actress as well. And so they got it. They were fighting, I think, against writing, which made it slightly more difficult. But Capaldi comes along, and again, chemistry. Because they're great actors and they form that. There has been no chemistry between the Doctor and her companions. None of them. None. And that is the major failing of this, because it, again, as I stress, it's the most important relationship of the show. And if that doesn't work, the show doesn't work, because the companion is the eye to the viewer. And when your eye is blind, you don't see shit. And so we're walking around with a Doctor who they separate from the companions, because the companions offer nothing to this Doctor, and vice versa. And we as the audience are always watching this removed, instead of being in there with them. Instead of us being the companion, that situation. No, we're not there. We're not there. It's sterile. We're watching this behind plexiglass. Doesn't work. It does not work. And that's because the companions and the Doctor do not work.
Nope. And it all hinges on your lead actor who, you know, that's why they tend to cast character actors for this role. And I guess some people saw Jodie Whittaker as a character actor for a sitcom, like Big Bang Theory or whatever sitcoms you got over there. She's the one who kind of rolls in, says a few lines, and rolls out. No, but I'm talking like real character actors. That's what David Tennant was. I think Matt Smith is going to blossom into something more. I think he's really fucking talented, but that's what Christopher Eccleston is. That's what Tom Baker was. John Pertwee, and very distinct, and that's what Peter Capaldi is. You know, he's usually like the villain or somebody's favorite in some show, like The Thick of It. It's exactly, I mean, like perfect for the Doctor. And I'll freely admit, when I heard his name, I was like, no, why are they going old? What are they doing? You know, and I warmed up to it. But they definitely need to go back to like young, handsome Doctor, hot fucking companion with Russell T Davies, getting rid of the timeless children and just going out and have some fun. Now, I'm not saying the Doctor has to be slapping his companion on the ass every 10 seconds or ever, Okay. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. But, yeah, you want to bring people back. That's what you need to do. Now, will there be the willingness to do it? Because the answer is right there in front of you. It has been for fucking 4 or 5 years. It's just convincing people that their ideology in art is wrong is trying to convince somebody that the God they believe in doesn't exist at some point. That's what we're up against, because this is a religion. Chris Webb for $5. Congratulations, Gary. Can't wait to see the new background. I can't wait either. Oh, I'm so excited. He's in a couple of days. I bet they were stoked, you know, because I just came in and said, we'll take it. And guess what? You don't have to go through escrow.
No chain.
Boom. You don't have to wait 30 days. And escrow is stressful because you basically get an anal probe from multiple banks, and they're just going through all of your finances, questioning absolutely everything you've ever done. And you have to repeat it 1,000,000 times, and it's terrible. Yeah, we got to avoid all that. You're saying all the right things, Gaz. Over to London again. You pop, come and say hi. And that is from Culture Amped. Thank you for the 5 British pounds. I will be back sooner than later. And I can't wait. I can't wait to visit as you guys. We could do a meetup. We could do multiple meetups in the UK. It'd be so much fucking fun. I can't wait to have some of those grilled street sausages in London that are probably fucking horrible for you, but I loved them. I can't wait. I can't wait to go to Stonehenge again and go to all the museums. Except all the museums will probably just say like, and white man is bad at the end of everything.
These bunch of colonizers destroyed the world.
Gary, give us a verbal preview of your future at-home studio. What do you have in mind? How long before it's done? Best time is now for $10. Oh, it's going to take time. I would say 3 months from now, it'll be mostly done. It will be, for guests, think something like a little mishmash, more like Joe Rogan's, except with toys on the wall. But when I'm doing videos, it'll be me. I'm good. We're going to have two separate backgrounds. So when we have guests, we're going to have it some way. And then otherwise I'm going to have a background like this, but I'm going to try to make it. I mean, it'll be a lot cleaner than this is just mishmash. Like I have a giant island and I could barely walk in this place. Hang on. There's a giant island out of comic book
Toy Island.
And it's gotten fucking ridiculous. And it's like every time I open one of these, I'm like, I gotta put it right back in. And I gotta start now. So you're gonna start seeing it get cleared out a little bit. It's gonna be rad. And I can't wait to have people over. The big. Oh, Superman? That there? Like the Christopher Reeve one?
No. The big one.
Oh, the quarter scale one?
No.
Yes. The statue. The 1:1 scale statue of Superman will be in there along with a life-size Batman that I found. That somebody is willing to wait till I move so I can pull the trigger on that. So I don't have it in hand yet, but I'll have it there. There'll be a life-size Superman and a life-size Batman. The one thing, I had a bunch of life-size characters at my comic store. I had Iron Man, Supergirl, Batman, Superman, Silver Surfer, multiple Spider-Men. I did a custom Batgirl, and I left them there because I was in such a bad way when I sold my store. I was like just trying to save my life, basically. So I was like, you can have it. Brian Hibbs took full advantage of my very bad state, and that's my fault. So there it is. But I regret leaving the Superman and Batman behind. The rest, it's not a big deal. You can't fit them. They're so fucking big. There's only so many you can fit in a house.
Yeah.
But Superman and Batman just are, that's my mythology. That's my mythology.
That's my religion.
Yep. Anyone else think we won't see her regenerate? She is too perfect to die and too selfish to sacrifice herself. That's beautiful. Her regeneration will be different. I think there'll be something different about her regeneration.
She'll do some sacrificial play where everyone would just fucking kiss her ass and go, wasn't she the greatest?
Oh,
she was better than all of us. She was the best.
She was the best of us. And maybe all the doctors will come back to say that, just to
on
say
their
that.
knees,
on their knees, all
taking the knee, looking at her regenerate, going, she was the best of us.
Jester of Rona on the super chat side says, but Gary, merely competent is a high bar for Chibs. I said corrected. I said corrected. Chris Webb for $5. Ironically, because of you guys complaining about the last season of Doctor Who, I'm now binging the series since the beginning. Tell my wife I love her. Wow. Hey,
why would you do that?
I mean, if it's like classic series, then good. I did.
Yeah, no. I thought he meant binging the last series of Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, why? He's like, tell my wife I love her. It's like, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. That's the sound you make after you watch an episode. Yeah. Chris, unless you're gonna do it like for content. I mean, like, okay, but
yeah, Chris, we're making money from this. You're not.
He might. I don't. Does Chris?
We offset the dollar versus brain cell depletion, and then we get to a point where we're just like, no, you got to do a series of Picard. I can't do it anymore,
dude. Every time I say I'm not going to do so, like I'll say I'm not going to cover book Boba Fett, I get 10 emails saying you better cover book of Boba Fett.
Well, I can't do Picard. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I can't bring it up because every time reviewing the thing the way it needs to be reviewed it's difficult because it takes a lot. I would have to spend. I'm going to finish it because I've already spent, I would say, working hours on something you haven't seen and probably will only see like 3 minutes of. I've spent 24, 26 working hours on it. Like a lot of days worth of time.
You know what I do because
I love that strange and beautiful face.
I love your beautiful face, Data. I want to come on it.
My phallus. Make it glow.
When did he go gay for Data?
I don't know. Don't know.
Every day I've thought about your beautiful, strange face, Data, as I touch myself.
Every time around me, I touch myself.
I touch myself. I want you to touch me.
Oh, on a summer's day. The Craig Lee Lawrence experience for $2. It's okay. I'll be the new doctor. Okay. Thank you. Then maybe I'll watch it. Now what we're gonna give, I mean, it's Russell T Davies coming back. That's like, George Lucas coming back. You got to give it a shot.
I want to see who he reveals as the next Doctor.
Yeah. Well, unless of course it is who's the one that everybody says it's going to be?
Ollie,
the super gay guy.
Yeah. Now they're saying it's going to be the black gay guy from the same show.
Oh, chances of it being a gay guy are pretty good, but it doesn't matter if it's like, if he's played like a doctor, I don't care. I don't really care unless it's, hey, I'm from California.
Hi, you'll be my companion, yeah.
Like,
I don't think he'll do that.
I wouldn't like that. You know what? I mean,
we got a meme.
Do we know all the actors who have played the Doctor are straight? I mean, I don't know it. There's so many British actors that were not straight that we love.
According to Tom Hardy, all actors are gay. Tom said he's had a bit of bum fun, but he's married now.
Okay, well, all right. Maybe Tom.
Oh dear, gorgeous. You fucking donkey.
That's exactly it. Good numbers for this show, considering he hasn't aired in America yet, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. 339,000 people watched it.
What?
In America?
The first episode.
339,000. Oh, dude, you want to know what that? Oh, you didn't see my video. The 18 to 49 demo was a 0.08.
Oh,
so the percentage of the demo is the percentage of the amount of people in the demo in the entire country. It has nothing to do with the number of the total viewers. So it's 0.08 of 183 million All right, which is the amount of people who are in the 18 to 49 demo in this country. That is 140 million households. These are all rough numbers. 112,000 people, basically.
I did. I missed the video. I went from the Eternals, and then I went to the review of.
It's okay. Miraculously, a lot of people watched it when it went out to absolutely no one. So thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I've even. Okay, I need to go back and watch that. I'll watch that.
Well, I do think there is. I mean, I think there's a. I released that one, I think in the evening, and it's kind of hit and miss on notifications in the evening. It's kind of, well, okay. I'm sorry. It's hit and miss on notifications all the fucking time.
Yeah, I never get a notification to membership streams.
I'm gonna start sending them to you. I'll just send you the link. Like I said the last time, I'll remember this time. Where was I? Oh, I need to go over here.
Data wants Picard. No, Picard wants Data.
Data's phallus. We're gonna have to
Data. I heard from Lieutenant. Yeah, that you're fully functional. Can you function me, please?
Oh, she totally draped Data.
No, it's with consent. He consented.
Because he was gay for Picard. So
Picard's gay for Data. I don't know if Data's gay for Picard.
He didn't know better. She was using her power of being a woman. Human. She basically had sex with Pinocchio. Yeah, she draped him. If RTD doesn't retcon the timeless child, then nothing matters. No amount of clever dialogue or scenarios can remove the radioactive stench of the steamer in the room known as the timeless child. Keep up the great work, gentlemen. That is from Douglas, the great Douglas Nelson, for $5. Thank you, Douglas. We love you. Good man. Always like doing awesome fucking thumbnails for us and stuff. Just fucking a good dude. And that was on the donation side, and on the super chat side for $4.99, we got Walter Tomzowski, sorry, for $4.99. What do either of you think of CG in recent MCU movies or Doctor Who or other TV shows? CGI, basically. Anything seem out of place, too obvious, or rushed? I thought the CG in this episode was better than last. I thought the Sontaran
definitely
ship was pretty good.
But it was at nighttime, which hides a multitude of sins.
It does. But yeah, the CG from last episode was a garbage. I think CG in MCU movies is largely not very good. I think Disney is fucking utterly lazy. It has gotten worse. Is like the CG in Guardians of the Galaxy is phenomenal. It's fucking great. It is a beautiful movie. But you compare that to fucking Eternals, like it's a joke. The one thing they got right in the Eternals was the Celestial. The Celestial looked good. That was fucking easy. That's a layup. But
the Deviants look terrible.
Deviants look fucking terrible, and there's no excuse that the daytime CGI from Disney should look like a bad fucking PS2 game. You know, yeah, it's a fucking it's and they know.
Have you seen the Docky Who frauds for this season?
No.
The Karen stans who are now saying, okay, last season might have been shit, but this season's been good. You can't deny that. And like, oh, wait a minute. Are you the people who were saying last season was amazing?
Yeah,
the bestest ever. And now you're saying something completely different this season because you want to push a new narrative. Shame on your fake bitch asses.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You guys are, I said it was a line in the sand and we'll know who the frauds are. By the way, I want to show you the funniest fucking video. Okay, hang on. I'm not going to show it. I just want you to look at this title. because this will make you laugh. I laughed out loud yesterday when I saw on the Doctor Who on the Doctor Who YouTube channel, Yasmin Khan, best moments so far of Doctor Who, and it's 43 minutes long. So I buzzed through it. She's not in most of the scenes.
What?
She's not in most of the scenes of the best of Yasmin Khan.
Look at the ratio. Fucking hell.
Yeah. And I just put LOL.
What? Whoa. Whoa. This is the official Doctor Who channel. That video is a day old and it's just got over 10k views on 1.57 million subs. Fucking hell. I put out a fucking video an hour and a half ago and it's on fucking 14,000 views. And I've got 280,000 subscribers, Doctor Who. Fuck.
Look, even somebody, I really adore Yaz, but so much of these videos are scenes she's not even in. The mute deaf character from Under the Lake had more useful lines than Yaz.
Wow.
I've seen paper bags with better character development.
That was a good character. She was a good character.
She was a good character. Yeah, I don't know. She's really good at standing there. Oh, Cole, I love you. Somebody watch my videos. That's fantastic. I just put LOL and they fucking...
How you made a 43-minute video compilation? Oh, you've moved it. I think somebody was like, how on earth have you got 43 minutes out of... Yeah,
it's 43 minutes. Yeah. Because it's scenes she's not in. Look,
wow.
You're not going to see... She'll pop up there. But it's mostly the Doctor. You see Yaz popping up? No, I'm not going to play this fucking thing.
Somebody said Yaz minus the Y is as.
You notice my my comment has no ups or downs at all. 13 hours.
No, but you've been shadow banned.
Yeah.
So nobody can see that comment but you.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet you. Oh, yeah, I totally reckon they've Doctor Who shadow ban you from the channel. Yeah, of course they have.
Come on, guys.
Of course they have.
I've been blocked by. Haven't you? You will once you start tweeting. You'll get blocked by the Star Trek account. Like
I haven't yet, but I'm willing to try.
You will be. Robert and I are blocked from the Star Trek account now. Unlike Robert, like I completely understand why I'm blocked. I'm not making an issue. I think I fucking take it as a badge of honor that I am blocked by the fucking Star Trek account. Robert got upset and like he's got a beef. It's like this dude is a champion for your brand. I would have been too if it was good, to be fair. But like Robert is like an encyclopedia of fucking Star Trek.
And this is a guy who's worked on the Blu-rays for Enterprise, for The Next Generation,
for Lord of the Rings.
For Lord of the Rings. Yeah, but I mean, with the Star Trek, he's actually worked for fucking CBS doing
one of the best conversions of a TV show ever is Star Trek The Next Generation. Considering how much work they had to do, and I know the amount of work you have to do, and that's why we don't get a lot of stuff, and that's why Buffy will never be remastered. We'll probably never see a proper, unless they do it for streaming, but then I doubt they'll put it in physical. But if they do it for streaming, then you can make it physical if you're clever. I'm starting to see a lot of physical bootlegs out there, and I'm liking it. Keep up the good work out there. But I digress. Yeah, fucking blocking Robert is it's suicide. You know what? It's just like it's I would say it's equal to suing people for making fan films. Which I heard this happening in 40K now.
Warhammer 40K, yeah.
Fucking you freaking retards. You freaking retards. Hey, we're huge fans of your stuff that we want to make stuff for free that ends up being basically a free advertiser. No, we're going to sue you. Fuck you. All right, we got to finish this up. A YouTuber says both you both despised disabled people because you paused briefly when noting Dan's girlfriend didn't have an arm. The YouTuber wears a trilby.
Trilby's hat.
Because we paused.
So because we paused because there was a disabled person, so we hate disabled people. Yeah, it's that kind of logic which probably makes you what you are today, which is a useless, irrelevant person.
Yeah, you know what?
You have inferred that by pausing when it's a disabled character, we hate them. Do you know how much emotion is needed to hate somebody? No, you don't, because it's just a word that you use to try and form a narrative. It's stupid. Move on with your life. You're broken. Get on with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to call people dumb, but you're dumb. I mean, that's just simply it. No, we'll point it out. I did point out that there was a one-armed weather girl, and then 10 minutes later there was a one-armed girl in Doctor Who, and they both were missing the same arm. I'm like, you couldn't mix it up a little bit, right or left hand? I'm gonna point stuff out, I'm gonna joke,
and it is part of the BBC's doctrine that they must employ X% disabled people. So to say, I mean, it's the easiest way to identify somebody. Is like, if I was stood next to Eric July and somebody said, "Who's Eric July?" the easiest identification would say he's the black one.
Mark the
that doesn't
cyborg.
make them racist or hated or anything like that.
My producer's husband is missing a limb, and we joke about it all the time. Like, you can definitely hear him running behind you if he's going to sneak up on you, because it goes, and he laughs. He laughs. You gotta wear that shit like armor. And listen, I think it's great. I think, yes, I think having one arm did keep you from getting roles at the BBC and Hollywood, and that was their decision and not our decision. They make it sound like it was the fucking fans' fault. And I thought the actress was perfectly competent. I had absolutely no problem with it. It fit with the role. It didn't stand out at all. Didn't have an issue with it. I'm just going to point it out because the BBC pointed out that they are hiring a certain percentage of people who are disabled. So was she hired on her talent, or was she hired because she was passable and had one arm? That question is probably in her mind because of that initiative. If that initiative wasn't there and then they just went ahead and fucking hired her anyway for the role, it wouldn't be an issue. That's what we've been saying the entire fucking time.
But we might have paused because we went to a new scene.
Oh my God.
That could have been it. We could have gone through, because she starts off, thing, and then she goes to the roadside. How does you read the pause? We could have been pausing because of anything. We could have been pausing because we wanted breath. Could have been pausing because we were talking about something else, and then we were changing the conversation. Jesus Christ.
It's like putting somebody in a wheelchair rolling in the background at Star Trek Discovery. We're going to point it out because it's the fucking 23rd, 24th, 25th century. They've worked that shit out. There wouldn't be anybody in wheelchairs. You could make a golem for dead people now. You can download dead people into a new body. Why would somebody be in a wheelchair?
Dude, these clowns, they just want a villain. They just want a villain. I'll be a villain.
Yeah.
I'll be a nasty boogie man that doesn't like the TV show that you like.
For all the new, basically it's newbies, right? There's a lot of newbies here on YouTube.
There's retards.
Yeah, and they just they haven't been outside, or they haven't gone to cons, or they haven't been around fandom as long as a lot of you have. A lot of you out there in the audience have been part of fandom for decades and know that it's always been like this. It's the only thing that's changed. The only thing that's changed is ideology has invaded.
2 seconds.
Go ahead. Propaganda, ideology. It's always been simmering. It's always been in like little independent projects, but it's never really been part of all of our franchises. And now it is. That's the one big difference. It's a big difference. And calling it out is heresy. I'm happy to be the heretic, and I'm glad my fellow heretics are here with me. Bless you. Trucker Rob for $20. As I hope, well, I'll wait for him to get back. This is probably the best it can get, to be honest. But all the conflict is external, not personal or internal, compared to RTD's first season and Bad Wolf, says Brandon Lucas for £5 British. Very well said. I applaud that. That's exactly right. It's not personal. It's not character driven. It is plot driven, essentially what the man is saying. Thank you very much. I appreciate that proper money. We got a couple of super chats with as mentioned in it, so I'm gonna save those. So Cliff 3188, Trucker Rob, I'll get right back to her. M Tax Shark says, "Hey guys, as is so right. The prisoner should not have been a how-to manual." No offense to the female doctor, but I feel this is an attack on felininity and the female companions who are co-stars who apparently didn't register as female representation being feminine. So you meant femininity instead of feeling. It's okay. I will read things exactly how they're written until I get the context. It's an attack on femininity. It is, and we have been saying that from the beginning. Femininity is considered weak. That's why we're seeing women in male roles acting like men. Terminator, Dark Fate, Charlie's Angels, Doctor Who. What did we see in Doctor Who last week? 2 security guards were non-binary women. I don't know if that'll get me in trouble. I don't really give a fuck. But they were,
what you saying? What's going to get in trouble?
They look like men. The non-binary women.
Oh, it's beginning of episode 1.
I'm not playing the fucking games anymore, so I'm just going to call it out. And
yeah, I thought the black one was a man.
Yeah. So we got a couple of, but what we had here is a super chat from Thunderstorm for $9.99 saying basically it is an attack, an overall attack on femininity. And I agree. I completely agree.
Oh, I agree. I think there's an attack on femininity. What was it? There's
what did Dave Chappelle say?
There was a great image that went up on Twitter yesterday, and they had an image of the 4-star general who's trans female, so man to woman, and then they had a picture of the admiral, 4-star admiral, sorry, and then they had a picture of I think a black female conservative candidate who was a believer in the Second Amendment and holding her rifle.
Oh, the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia.
She had served in the army.
She's fucking awesome.
And one said the person on the left, which is the 4-star admiral, is classed as a strong woman, and the one on the right is classed as a white supremacist.
Who is the one on the right is a perfect example of the American dream. Go watch her acceptance speech after the governor of Virginia won, and she came in and she talked about her story. And she was from, I think, Jamaica, and her dad went out ahead of her for 6 years, worked there without his daughter, came to America with $1.75, came back, got her, and now he built up a business, and she is now the lieutenant governor of Virginia. Nice. I mean, it doesn't get fucking better than that. Went from abject nothing, not even poverty, nothing, to building something up, and they are nothing but grateful. That's the kind of shit that the hardcore cultists don't want you to hear, that the opportunity is there, and no, it's not fair. It was much harder for her than it would have been for me. Completely understand that. She understood it too, and so did her dad. And once they understood that, once they internalized it on an individual level, they got it. Nobody succeeds by worrying about what other people have. Nobody succeeds by woe is me. Somebody didn't help me. Somebody didn't do this. And you know what? You know when people help you is when pretty much when you ask for it. You ask for it after you, and they are willing to give it to you after they've seen you worked for it. Now, through my life, I've had help, but that help, it's not help I asked for. I had help when one of my jobs, I had no experience, and some guy just, his name is Terry Edwards. I'm forever debt with him. I wanted to be a parts guy, had no experience, and he just took a crack at me because he saw how hard I worked. He saw how fucking hard I worked. He's like, I'm going to give this guy a crack at it. He has no experience, but it looks like he'll learn it quick. And I did. I learned it in like 2 months. That's what hard work will do, and good things will happen through that. They keep happening. And yeah, that was a fucking great story. And of course they call her a white supremacist. Fuck that shit. Fuck that
shit. About the narrative that they want to push.
That is so racist and disrespectful to her.
Of course it is.
Shit.
This is yeah, but this is the hypocrisy of the left. This is the tolerance of the left. It's not at all. It's as bigoted, it's as sexist, it's as just as much as the racist as the fucking far right.
Yeah, exactly. And I want them to keep doing it. You know what? Keep calling Larry Elder the face of white supremacy. Keep calling black women white supremacists. Keep doing it, and this battle will be over soon. Keep trying to push CRT on our kids. Keep trying to push. Keep taking. No, actually, don't stop taking our fucking kids to gay bars right fucking now.
That was a Babylon B joke 2 years ago.
Babylon B joke 2 years ago. The Babylon B is basically the Babylon Prophet now at this point.
Yeah.
You guys should check out Heels on Stars. Oh, okay. Steve Yarnell.
Oh, yeah. I know the show.
Dexter came back last night, I believe.
Oh, it's tomorrow night for us. For us, it's tomorrow night. It's the 8th of November on Sky for us.
Okay. I didn't check it out yet, but I am going to go check it out probably later today when I'm done with the Eternals. But
I'm going to check it out.
I watched Dexter and thought the ending sucked, but I liked most of the show. The John Lithgow season being the best, of course. No offense to I read that one. Jabba's oh yeah, Gary and Az, please continue to put out positive thoughts on videos. They help me and others get through a lot of current day shite. Also, it should be Tales from Jabba's Palace, not Book of Boba Fett, says Cliff 3188 for $9.99. You have my promise. When I like something, I will tell you. I will scream from every fucking rooftop, even if it's just pretty good. And Az is doing it like Squid Game.
I do it every week. I do a positive stream every week with the toy stream that I do. And at the moment, I've got 2 positive streams going a week, the toy stream and the Squid Game stream.
You will get a positive review, I'm guessing, from 2 movies, maybe 3. I can't talk about the third. There's a movie out there that's in question. People are going to wonder if it's woke or not. I have been told this film is fucking solid, like good.
What's that?
I'll put it in private chat.
Okay.
I can't say it.
Okay.
Not yet, anyway. Here. Despite a character that's in it that everybody hates. I've been told the director has been given complete free reign, 100% control, and it will be very good. There's a huge emphasis. Marvel understands that this movie needs to succeed because they understand what's going on. They do.
I bet you people could argue that my Batwoman reviews are positive.
They are.
I mean, I hate the show, but they're there just to make people laugh.
No, Friday Night Tights is a positive show.
That's a good show. People like that show.
People fucking laugh their ass off.
People like that show.
Yeah. When we mock the stuff and we have a good laugh, it's taking as you guys say, as you Brits say, it takes the piss out of shit.
Taking a piss.
That's
taking a piss.
I don't want anything bad to happen to. I want Jodie Whittaker to have a wonderful career outside of Doctor Who. I hope she goes and succeeds as a guest star in a sitcom and wins lots of BAFTAs or whatever fucking you give out for sitcoms over there, and does great. I hope she's in the next Friends. I really do. Just get the fuck away from Doctor Who. Okay, that's all. I don't want anything bad to happen to her. I don't want anything bad to happen to why am I forgetting the actress plays Yaz?
Mandeep Gill.
Mandeep Gill. They write Jodie's character with no character progression because these days they don't dare to write a flawed female character.
Boom.
So, Jubs McGee for £5
Got him.
Yep.
It's semi-right. I think it's for fear of doing the wrong thing. I think there's definitely a fear of writing, thinking that you're writing it in one way, but it being perceived in another way. So yeah, you get flat, boring, just no growth, no dimensional characters like this iteration of the Doctor.
Not applicable for $5 says, as Squid Game is CCP Korean reunification propaganda, it's well told as a story, but it's from the communist perspective. May do a video on it. Yeah, I think it's poorly done. Because as bad as that system looks, and like there's some real flaws in system, because there's flaws in life. There is no fucking utopia. It don't exist. It will not exist as long as we have free will. We're always going to have people who get addicted to gambling. We're always going to have people who are irresponsible spenders. And that's just a fact. You can get in that kind of trouble in communism too, with the black market. It's not like that shit just changes if we all of a sudden become totally equal and live in the same house and wear the same clothes and are the same gender and everything is just the same. We would kill each other or kill ourselves. North Korea is a hellhole. Communism doesn't work. That's why China had to change and buy into Western capitalism while meshing their communism in it.
Yeah, it's called a dictatorship.
Yeah, there are. I mean, as far as I know, I don't live in China. Do people own property? Do people get to buy a house? Because if you get to buy a house and own property, then it's not communism. Because communism tries to change the language. They say it is your property, but it also belongs to everybody else. So that's how Marxism and socialism, they change fucking language. They change definitions because they know people like, hey, do you think one day in America people are just going to give up all of their homes? Do you think people are going to start working?
Well, the government are trying to.
Yeah. Do you think people are going to be down with being assigned?
You will own nothing and you will be happy.
You are going to work in a cornfield now for the rest of your life, and you're going to make this much money. I know you were an artist and really good, but doesn't matter. That's where you need to be. Our reports have shown us that is where your skill set will put you. That's where we're headed. That's the end game. It's extreme. It's hyperbolic, but it's the end game. You will not own anything, and you'll be happy for it. You'll be freed of that responsibility because the government will take care of you.
The government will set you free.
Yeah, that's hell on earth, folks. Like that. Sandy Q for $10 says, I miss watching Doctor Who and expecting to both laugh and cry, and most of all, be excited for the next episode. I cried like a baby when Donna's memories were wiped. Such a great episode. I miss that too. Watching it with my boys, just having a good time.
I just miss enjoying it.
Yep.
I just miss enjoying it, and it's not.
My son stealing all my toys to play with.
Not wrong with that.
Well, he had plenty too, but he always wanted the ones he didn't have. It's like, I gave you.
Don't we all?
Yep. So,
don't we all?
He was good though, and he used to. I've got hours and hours of him videotaping, because there's kids who used to videotape them playing with their toys on YouTube all over the place. They don't.
You know what I miss the most though?
Little boys. Yeah.
Being excited for the next episode.
Yep. Thank you, Sandy.
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen now? Where wait, the Doctor's regenerating, but we know David Tennant's not leaving. What's gonna happen?
I missed a couple up here. Hang on. My fear is that the best RTD's next run will be akin to Moffat's later days in the BBC, constraints regardless of the creative control. Douglas Nelson for $5. That would be my fear as well. Could the dog man thing be like that creature from Terminus? Maybe. Weird, fantastic toy adventure. Should Jacob Anderson stick to his rap career? Oh, you mean Discount Killmonger?
Discount Killmonger.
$2.
He's not brought anything to the table in 2 episodes. He's been flat as a pancake. Has he had much to work with? No. Has he done anything with what he's had? No.
Brendan Lucas for £5 said, I actually liked this episode, but I don't like all the elements that just feel like copies of earlier stuff, which is basically all Chibnall does. Sontarans wiping out inferior human army, etc. Yeah. I mean, it just shows that it was supposed to emphasize that they just love war. They don't care if it's fair or not. They just like the slaughter. Yeah, we got that like a million times with the Sontarans. They write Jodie's character with no. Oh, I already read that one. I was watching Doctor Who. Smack that like button. So say we all, says Brightest Day. Thank you, Brightest Day, for $2. I appreciate that. Detrius says, I miss when I could understand it without subtitles. Oh, I had to watch it with subtitles too. I did for 10 British pounds.
Did you?
I did. There's a lot of mumbling, dude. A lot of mumbling, and some of your accents are a little thick.
Do you think the Scouse is quite difficult to understand?
It's that's what it sounds like. So I've got to like, did they say Crimean or Crimean?
Crimean one.
They need to retcon Jodie's doctor before I watch again. By the way, watch. Oh, I read that one. It's floating chip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna read a couple more and then we gotta bow out because I gotta get back to my Eternals review. So you will get it tomorrow, and I'll read the rest of these on the next Square Up, which will be out by Thursday.
Final Fantasy 14's new expansion's been delayed.
Oh, why?
They need just a little bit more time.
That's better than putting out a shitty game.
It's been delayed like 2 weeks, but I'm going to just make a quick video making screaming noises.
Yeah.
So it's too late here.
As Gary, you're like the new Laurel and Hardy.
That's a massive compliment.
Yeah. Where's my bowler hat? I apologize, lads, but there is a Twitter troll that is invading all of your posts and having a go at people who agree with you. Name and shame. Delicious. Uber Geek for £5. I generally don't pay attention, and here's my suggestion: do not interact.
Yeah,
do not interact. Go look at their. I'm guessing that they have 0 likes on all of their tweets or no interaction. Just completely ignore them. That's what I do. I'm sorry if they're having a go at you guys. Mute, block. I do not mute or block anybody, but I would recommend it. I would say mute. Mute's good enough. You just don't see it, don't worry about it. If they're going to call you transphobe. They're going to call you an ist, a phobe, a Yahtzee, a white supremacist. So fucking what?
Because it's projection.
Yeah.
They're just projecting their own problems onto you because you're not afraid to call out the bullshit. You're not afraid to say exactly what's going on. No. So it's just projection. I don't give a shit. You shouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't care.
Don't waste your time on it.
I mean, I don't like it when people go after the audience, even content creators. But again, I stick by my stance of not getting involved with drama, and starving it is the best way to deal with it. As much as I dislike it, they only do it to get a reaction out of us, so they can make content out of it or reciprocate it on Twitter. Again, starve ankle biters. Normalize that. Thank you, Uber Geek, for letting me know, though. I do appreciate you guys having our back, and I appreciate it when I'm when people make me aware of stuff that I'm not aware of. Keep that coming, because I like to know. Knowing is half the battle. I believe we will get an Ayer cut in early 2022. It will be 3.5 hours long. Ayer keeps posting never before seen photos of his Instagram on Twitter, and that's sounding a lot like what Snyder did to the lead up of this. The Snyder cut was a massive success. Here, hang on. Okay, I got this right here. I have 2 copies. This is going to be a giveaway somewhere. And like, I want to watch it right after I'm done with my Eternals review. This is what I'm cleansing my palate with. I want to see some proper dark side. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
It's nice to see some testosterone in your fucking movies as well.
Yep. I have a good feeling about it. Hashtag release the Ayer cut. I think they'll do it, Mikey Gussler, because as far as I know, Zack Snyder's Justice League is one of the, if not the best-selling Blu-ray of the year.
It's one of them.
Yep.
We definitely know. We know that it was, I don't know how many units it sold, but we know that it sold very well, that it peaked up Warner Brothers' interest suddenly. So it must have sold pretty damn well.
Wormy Spoons says, was she a rear admiral? Was she a rear admiral?
Transphobe.
I fucking love you guys. That is all. The regime will fall. Says Black Multicam. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't find critique of shows negative. I find it staves off the gaslighting from the studios and the mob to constantly need an enemy to excuse mediocrity. Says Aiken for $7.99 Australian. I love that too. Yeah.
That's why that's that. Or the super chat. I'll be your enemy. You know, I'll be your villain. Just make me a villain.
Yep.
They need them. They need it to justify. They need it to justify the shit. Like when I used to do World of Warcraft videos, I know this is going to be scintillating for you, Gary, but I used to get a lot of shit because I used to call out a lot of the shit that Blizzard did. And then, you know, I've moved on. And a lot of the stuff that I was saying years ago about the product, years ago, so many people now are beginning to call it out. But I was their villain. I was their villain to point out and be like, he's the nasty man that says the nasty things about the video game that I like. And now they're saying the exact same things.
Yep.
I'm just ahead of the curve.
Yeah. I know the feeling. I definitely know the feeling. All right. A couple more. God, I wish they would, if you know what, I'd be able to sift through this easy if they'd have kept this in order. I don't have X-Ray Girl for these, so where did it go? Orville Nation, what's up with the online comic shop, Gary? Online comic shop will go online.
Why am I like a 360p on your fucking stream?
You are. I'm gonna refresh.
Why? I'm on a 1080.
I don't know. It could be my internet. I don't know if it's my internet affecting it or not.
Oh,
okay. Sorry. I love that insulated ass. Do you want to
360 ass?
Why don't you jump out and jump back in again and see what happens? Okay. Oh, it's clearing up a little bit, but yeah, jump out and jump back in again, see what happens. Orville Nation, it will be up before the brick and mortar one will be up, which is about a year away. Melissa gave me a little bit of a pitch on what she's going to be doing after we move, and that it's going to have something to do. It fixed it a little. Yeah, I fixed it. There you go. No, there you go. It fixed it. So yeah, I just answered the question that the online comic store will start before the brick and mortar one. And there's lots of shit, dude. There's a lot of catalog.
I need a catalog first.
Oh, that's what my sons are for. My sons will be making that catalog.
No, but I need a catalog before anyone else gets one.
Oh, you get one first. Okay. You definitely get.
So I can do some shopping.
All right. Speaking of shopping, I need to go get some food, and I need to get going on this review. I got a member stream later as well, and I got to pick up my wife from the airport at 9.
Nice.
9, yes.
9. So that's yeah, 7 hours.
Thanks everyone for showing up. We had 2,800 people for a fucking Doctor Who episode that hasn't aired in America. So
nice.
If I missed a super chat, it will be made up in the very next super chat square up, which air, and this will be unlisted here and then re-uploaded on Nerdrotic Live, my alternate live channel. So please give a sub over there if you missed any portion of this, or just hang on to the link. Even if it's unlisted, you hang on to the link, you can still watch it all the way through with all the chat and everything. So until next time, and I'm doing, there's only 4 episodes to go, and then there's a festive special because they refused it. By the way, they lost their spot on Christmas. So despite what anybody says, they lost their spot. They can't get it back. I think there's going to be an Easter special and a fall special, and then she regenerates a year from this coming New Year's Day. I know, it's fucking sleepy. And then we lead up, we'll find out who the next Doctor is, and by then nobody will give a flaming fuck. And it's sad. It's fucking sad. But you have a lot of Doctor Who to watch. I would just say buy physical media secondhand so you don't support the BBC in any way, because they don't deserve your support right now. Not until they erase the timeless children. Plug your channel, please.
You come watch your first Babyface channel and yeah.
And the shit. Yep. And Nerdrotic main channel, Nerdrotic Live, Nerdrotic Daily with Perry Chan. He just put one up with Grace Randolph, made another appearance on Friday Night Tights. It was funny as hell. Go check it out.
Somebody keeps asking me about beanies. I'll look into beanies for you.
Yeah, do heel versus babyface beanies, and we are doing another run of Nerdrotic beanies and hats because I gave away all of our hats at our meetup.
Nice.
Fucking all gone. Entire case of them. So and Friday Night Tights merch coming. So thanks everyone, and thanks to the Modrotics. Thanks, appreciate all of you guys, everybody who left a super chat.
You just do one size?
No. For what? For hats or
beanies?
I mean, yeah, they're kind of stretchy, but if you need another size, we can do another size.
I'm just wondering when you produce them, because I'm thinking about.
Oh, it's just one size. It's one size.
One size beanies. Okay.
Yeah, it's one size fits all. I'll have Melissa contact you about it.
They certainly do.
Yep. And again, thank you everyone who left a donation in a super chat. I do appreciate it. I'm sorry my time is limited. I can maybe, like, if we get
might do what you stream tomorrow night, unless are you noonering tomorrow?
I am noonering tomorrow at noon.
Okay. Okay.
And then Real BBC on Tuesday at 10. And I don't know when I'm noonering on Wednesday. We still got to talk about that. So I won't say a time right now. But if I push back the time because of my Eternals review, I will let you know. I'll let you all know. WG left a $50 donation. Says, hail Az and Gary. As Az's beard progresses, please use this to buy him some black rimmed glasses in order to complete his transformation into British Gary. Great show, gents. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
WG's awesome.
My glasses will be changing very soon. They'll be getting a little smaller. Ooh. They're going to stay Ray-Ban. I'm getting some new ones. It's time. That best of Yaz. That's the best of Yaz. The scenes she isn't in. LOL. Says Caligula for $5. Thank you. And for $6.65, the neighbor. It's Man of War. Az is the villain to the already set upon 112 collectors, incessantly spewing his rampant scale hatred and sizist rhetoric.
Yes.
112 has great selections, like fantastic selections. There is no 1/6 scale dark side. That's a weakness.
I know. Hello.
Yeah.
Can we hello?
Third party.
1 in 6 dark side.
They'll make it. They will. They absolutely will. All right. The rest we're gonna get on the square up. So ciao everyone.
Ciao, Blanco.